If you're someone that suffers with chronic headaches and migraines, this video is for you. In under 7 minutes today, I'm going to dive into how this bone might actually be the cause of your headaches and migraines and how we can actually get this fixed once and for all. So that bone is called your C1 or atlas. I'm going to pull up my stem of the spine. We call it stem of the spine here. This top bone in your spine. I know it's going to glare a little bit with the lighting, so we'll try to fix this in the editing, or we'll just throw up some images up there. But this is the top bone in your spine. It sits right here underneath your skull. This bone is the most important bone in your spine. The reason for that is it protects 72 trillion nerve fibers. That is your brainstem. So it protects that. If you all probably remember Christopher Reeves. He fell off his horse, Superman, right? He fell off his horse, fractured that top bone in his spine, shut down all the crucial systems and functions in his body. They had to hook him up to all these different machines, ended up dying of an infection. That's how important this bone is. It can shut down if something is damaged here or damages the brainstem. It can cause global dysfunction in the body. Why it's so important for us to optimize that bone, make sure it's in its correct position, optimizing the nervous system and its function. So that top area. But you can see here that it also, there's lots of blood vessels that pass through it, supplying that blood flow and oxygen to the brain. So if that bone's misaligned, it can start to restrict the amount of blood flow and oxygen to the brain. And then it can also kink at the top on the backside here. It's kind of hard to see, but the brainstem, if there's pressure on that, it reduces the amount of cerebral spinal fluid that can flow up and down from your brain throughout your entire spinal cord. So if that bone is misaligned, putting pressure directly on your brainstem, reducing the blood flow and oxygen to the brain, also putting pressure on 72 trillion nerve fibers, causing dysfunction in the body, right? So you can have auras or without auras with those migraines. We've seen people with debilitating ones, C1 through 3. You can start to get things like trigeminal neuralgia, things of those natures as well. So those are the common things at the top part of that spine. That top bone's typically the cause. The bone below it's equally as important. It's your C2. It's where your brainstem actually transitions into your spinal cord. So those top areas are vitally important. So for us, most people haven't had x-rays to check that bone, and they've gone through the gauntlet of medications, injections, surgery. We've seen Botox nowadays. And then they just keep looping in that gauntlet, right? And then if they tried chiropractic, they just go whenever they feel like it. They don't do specific x-rays. They don't have a specific plan set for them to actually fix it once and for all. So in our practice, we don't accept every case. And some people, that shocks people. Huh? That's why I always say I'm going to be one of the most honest people you probably meet as far as a doctor. The reason for that is our reputation is very important to us. So we only accept cases that we're confident we're going to be able to succeed with. So to pinpoint if that's actually causing those headaches or migraines, we're going to do a set of digital motion x-rays. It's going to show us where that top bone is in space, if it's misaligned. It's also, by doing the motion x-rays, it's going to show us if that bone's moving correctly or if it's stuck out of position. So we know exactly where that bone's misaligned and exactly where we need to adjust it to put it back into its correct position to restore function as quickly as possible. So you guys have heard me say this, precision is the name of the game if you want to heal your body as quickly as possible. Always use the vehicle like a car, for example. If you have all tires pulling different directions, trying to get to a destination, it's going to take longer to get there. Versus if we can actually pinpoint where we need to get you to, exactly what's causing that, get everything aligned, unintended at this point for chiropractic, everything aligned in the right direction to allow your body to heal and regenerate as quickly as possible. So the things that we'll do to know if it's causing that is going to be the digital motion x-rays. Once we find out if it is causing that, and we're confident in the solution that we have that's going to fix that, then we're going to set you up on a plan, right? The x-rays also show degeneration. If it takes time to get there, it takes time to heal. That degeneration is going to show us roughly how long that's been out of position. So for us, those digital motion x-rays, once we're confident that that's going to work, then we're going to make precision adjustments. We're not going to do things like this, rack, crack, and hope. We're going to do more of things like this, with our precision adjusting tool called the integrator, to make precise adjustments to the exact segments causing the problem. That's going to help you heal as efficiently as possible. We'll also have something like this called the Denneroll. That Denneroll is measured off your x-rays. People go on Amazon and they try to land on it and say that thing didn't work. Yeah, it wasn't based off your x-rays and what your body needs. Those x-rays are black and white. It's not what I think. It's not what you think. It's exactly what's happening in your spine. So that Denneroll will measure off that. That's going to help put that curve back in your spine. Taking stress, it's called anterior head carriage. Taking that stress, putting that curve back in your spine. We have anterior head carriage, that stress resides right on that brainstem. So it's going to help us do that. It's going to take a lot of tension out of the traps as well, taking that muscle tension out of there as well, which we can see the cervicogenic or muscle tension headaches that stem from there. So we can actually help reduce that and actually fix the problem so these headaches don't come back after that. And then we have high-powered PMF. If you qualify for that, it's going to help dilate the blood vessels in that area to regenerate that tissue faster, get you feeling and functioning better, faster. And then for us, we're going to do progress x-rays. For the majority of our patients, that's usually in a 90-day period. The frequency is going to depend on those x-rays. I don't just make up the frequency. I look at your x-rays. I see what we've had a success rate with people with similar conditions in their spine. We come up with the best plan. In 90 days, we not only want to see that you're feeling better, but we want to take a look at those x-rays, make sure those structures are moving and your body's regenerating faster than they're degenerating so that we never go back to those headaches again, right? That's vitally important to save you the most time, energy, money, and most importantly, your quality of life, so you never have to be debilitated with those headaches or migraines. We want to make sure that those structures are actually going back where they belong. They're regenerating faster than they're degenerating, so we don't regress back to where we started. And at that point too, that's when we look at what we call lifestyle or wellness care in our practice, right? It doesn't make sense that you make all these corrections, your spine starts to get healthy, and then you stop doing the things that work and you continue to get the results, right? I say it's like brushing your teeth, going to the dentist, and then you get great results. They say no cavities, keep up the good work, and then you go home and stop brushing your teeth, stop flossing, doing the things that help you have healthy teeth. Same thing for your spine, is if you want to continue to have great spinal health, we're going to need lifestyle or wellness care at that point. That's your choice. I don't force people into initial phases of care or wellness or lifestyle care in our practice. It's your health, it's your choice. Our reputation's ours. That's why we have specific plans. We don't accept everyone. We want to accept the people that want what we have, that want the results, and that are committed to the plan to achieve those results and make sure we never go back to where we started. If you guys have any questions, leave it in the comment section below. If you're thinking of a friend or family member that would benefit from this video, please go ahead and share that with them. And if you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe.